This is my capture from Mind the Gap. This is me currently talking through the current build of the file before going through the project in a virtual reality headset. So currently it is set up so that there are essentially two small sections to this whole experience. The main premise of the game and the main task and interactivity take place in the carriage. But this carriage sort of acts as a starting carriage. So if we zoom into it, the player will start in this first carriage where they'll spawn in the center of the carriage, like in the experience, and they'll see multiple NPC characters that are sat around them. They'll experience, and there'll be times, and then obviously we'll cut the black, and then they'll be teleported to the other carriage. And it's because again, so I've set up so the second carriage is the section that they will return to at the end of the experience after completing all the tasks, and they'll see that there are less NPC characters sat around them, and this is where the end of the experience will essentially take place. So, yeah, so this is the main carriage experience. I'll zoom in here. So this is where the player will start experience. They will spawn in this section here, and this carriage is obviously the starting area where they'll hear the train announcer speaking throughout the experience, and this is where you'll participate in the test of hearts. Where, as you can see, there are currently 4 models in place, such as the gun. This is representative of the wallet model. Wasn't able to find one online that's suitable. The book and the watch are all set in place, all with colliders that can be picked up, and it would be set up so that this pressure pad here has a collider, where this would be set with interactivity, where if an object was placed into this area, this door would slide open, and that is what is currently uh, set in place, so that there'll be a sliding door effect. And throughout the whole carriage, there are double doors that will open and release throughout to show the full experience. And currently, with the animations, it is set up quite simply so that when interactive will be added and be triggered, it would play this sliding door effect, and it would do both on either side. And that is the same throughout all of the doors where they will go through and work, such as this. And yeah, if we take a look, looking through, this is currently the section for the test of wits, where you'll see that there are all of the buttons that are in place. Again, when interactive additive have be done so that when pressing a certain sequence, it would then trigger these door animations, and you have to progress to the next area. And this section here is set up for the test of strength, where you have to move all these objects out of the way, where each of these will have a collider and a rigid body where you have to pick up and have to move these all around the area. Again, once if a full train carrier is set up and modeled in a different way, it might be easier to actually have it so that you would have them collide with the door, and you have to actually move them properly and have them collide one another and pile up, etc. And the last section of the experience would be the test of speed, where currently each of these handles are set up, so eventually if you had activity, you had to pull down each lever, and then that could trigger this final door here. And then you would be able to be greeted by the antagonist. Again, that would be animated etc. over time. And then once you spoke to him, then the idea would be that a canvas or a object will then move towards a player for a cut of black, showing that they're about to crash, and then show the end of the experience. The whole environment is also set up to have the headlights and the train tracks on display, so that if the character did decide for a short time to look forward and peer over, they would see the train carriage kind of in effect of moving throughout the whole experience. So yeah, and the lights are set up as well in the tunnel. So if we see, if I do a quick display of it, you'll see that so animations there with the doors, and you'll see this lighting effect going through where it's on repeat, creating that effect. And you show if I turn the sound up as well, you should be able to also hear the sound effect briefly. Yeah, and yeah, this is my current build experience for Mind the Gap. This is my gameplay capture for Mind the Gap. As you see, we're currently in the first train carriage of the VR experience. The full environment has been built with all the tasks set up and pre-built with all the assets required, prepared to add interactivity later if this project was to go further any forward. So this is currently in the first train carriage. The player will be able to see their hands throughout the whole experience, and for navigation, they can move the left joystick to move around, and the right joystick to watch the camera if required, and also be able to move them, body themselves to move through the experience. As you can see, there was a current lighting effect that creates sort of the simulation of the train carriage movement of a light animations moving back and forward on repeat to create that sort of effect, and the current sound effect of the London Underground or Metro train carriage sound effect. As you can see around the carriage, there are currently the four objects are highlighted in green to make them obvious to me currently during this build phase. And you see there's a gun there, there's the object representing the wallet here, the book, and the watch. And as you can see here, if you grab each object using the left trigger, you'll be able to pick it up. This goes the same for all the objects. And this pressure pad here is obviously in place for the test of hearts, where you would simply place the object here, and then this door would normally open, and you're ready to go through the carriage. All doors have been disabled currently to be able to walk through the experience currently without the added interactivity. This section is for the test of width, where as you can see here, there was all the buttons, so you're able to go around and press all the buttons to then open the next door that would normally be here, and progress through the next section. And as you hear, there's a bit of interactivity here, where currently you cannot walk through here, it's blocked off the way, so you have to go through and actually grab all these objects and move them out the way of the door to be able to progress further. There was some elements that need to be sorted out with this train carriage model to be able to actually have this fully working, not fall in one places. And as you can see here, this is the next section for the test of speed, where you would walk through here, and once these are interactable, you would go through and pull down each of these different handrails in the time limit given, which will then open the final door to the antagonist that would open up further, and it would lift, and you're ready to talk to the person. Obviously, then the full dialogue would go through, and that would be the end of the experience, and it would send you back to the start, and it would send you to the area where there would be NPC characters as shown in the script and the storyboard. Thank you.